Dating after 60 isn't what most of us imagine. It's lonelier, stranger, and sometimes downright exhausting. I thought I was ready. Ready for new love, new companionship. But the truth? The truth knocked the wind out of me. And if you've been out there, swiping, hoping, wondering, maybe you know exactly what I mean. Before you set up another coffee date, hear me out. Because I learned something no one warned me about, and it changed everything. When I first started dating again, I'll be honest, I had hope. I thought, well, maybe this is my second chance. Maybe now, with more wisdom, more patience, it'll actually be easier. Oh, how wrong I was. You see, there's this little voice in your head that says, it's never too late for love. And sure, that's beautiful. But it's also dangerous when it makes you ignore the warning signs. I imagine meaningful conversations. Two grown-ups, finally past the drama, coffee dates filled with laughter and stories, walks through the park, maybe even falling asleep on the phone like teenagers again. But what I got was silence. Canceled plans, people who showed up still stuck in their past. Men who talked about their ex-wives more than they asked about me. And let's not even start on the ones who clearly just wanted someone to cook for them, clean for them, or make them feel young again. Dating after 60 isn't like dating at 30. At 30, you're building a life together. At 60, you're trying to merge lives, and oh boy, that's a mess. You've got routines, grandkids, pensions, maybe even two separate recliners that are just right. And suddenly someone else's habits are rubbing against yours like sandpaper. I went on dates with men who refused to stop talking about how things used to be. Others looked at me like I was lucky to be chosen, like I should be grateful anyone showed up at all. And then there was that one guy, oh, bless his heart. He brought up marriage on the first date. Not out of romance, mind you, but because he needed help with his Medicare paperwork. Yep, that was the moment I realized this isn't dating. This is negotiation. This is loneliness dressed up in a nice shirt and cologne. Now, I don't say this to sound bitter. Truly, I don't. But I do say it because some of us, we build up this fantasy of late-life romance like it's a Nicholas Sparks movie. But in reality, it's awkward, it's uncertain, and sometimes it just hurts. And the part that stung the most was feeling invisible, like I was too old to be seen, too smart to be flirted with, too real. That's when I started to ask myself, why am I doing this? Who am I trying to prove something to? Because here's the truth, we're not broken for wanting love. But we also don't have to chase it like we're running out of time. There's a kind of loneliness that hits differently after 60. It's not the I don't have anyone kind. It's the I have people, but no one really sees me kind. You know what I mean? Friends get busy, kids have their own lives. You walk through a grocery store and feel like a ghost. And so dating feels like a way to be noticed again, to be touched again, to be asked how your day was, and have someone actually wait for the answer. That kind of attention, it's powerful. And for a while, I chased it like water in the desert. But here's the twist. Sometimes dating made me feel more alone. You get all dressed up, put on a brave smile, go out hoping to connect, and instead, you come home feeling emptier. Why? Because so many people out there aren't looking for real connection. They're looking for distraction, or comfort, or validation. And when you want something deeper, you start to feel like maybe you're the problem. I started wondering if I was being too picky, too serious, too old-fashioned. But then I realized, no, I'm just someone who wants real. And that's not too much. It's just rare. The loneliest moment for me wasn't sitting at home alone on a Saturday night. It was sitting across from someone who didn't care to know me. That was the moment I decided I'd rather be alone than feel invisible with someone. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is stop trying to fill the silence with the wrong noise. You know what's funny? Once I stopped chasing dates, my world opened up in ways I didn't expect. I had time again, time to reconnect with myself, with hobbies I'd forgotten, with friends I'd neglected. I didn't have to wait on a call, or stress over texts, or wonder if I said the right thing. Instead, I woke up with a kind of peace I hadn't felt in years. And slowly, something shifted. I started building a life that didn't need someone else to feel complete. I joined a book club, started volunteering at the animal shelter. I even tried painting. Turns out I'm awful, but who cares? It made me laugh. And you know what else? People noticed, not because I was on the market, but because I was genuinely alive. That kind of energy, it's attractive, not just romantically, but in friendship, in purpose, in joy. The less I tried to find someone, the more connected I became. Funny how that works, huh? Now, I'm not saying dating after 60 is hopeless. Not at all. Some folks do find beautiful love stories later in life. But if you're in that space where you feel exhausted, unseen, or unsure, you're not alone. And maybe, just maybe, it's okay to take a break, to stop chasing, to start healing, to remember who you are without someone else telling you. If love comes again, great. If not, you can still build a life full of meaning, laughter, and moments that take your breath away. You don't need a partner to dance in your kitchen. You don't need a date to feel beautiful. You are not a half. You are a whole, with or without romance. So if you're tired of the game, walk away. You're allowed. And if one day love finds you on a park bench or at the farmer's market, good. But let it find you whole, not hungry. Because the best kind of love is the kind that doesn't ask you to shrink first. So if you've been wondering whether to keep trying or whether it's okay to stop, this is your sign. You're not alone, you're not broken, and you're not behind. Dating after 60 is tough, and it's not always the answer to loneliness. But you still matter, you still shine. Build a life that feels good in your own skin, find peace in your routines, and if love shows up, let it be the cherry, not the cake. If this spoke to your heart, hit that subscribe button. Share this with a friend who's been quietly wondering the same thing. Because we're not too old. We're just finally wise enough to know what we won't settle for. Take care of your heart. It's been through a lot, and it deserves your love most of all.